Hey guys, Loader for Life here with a deck profile for you guys. This time around with Lovecraft. If you don't know who Lovecraft is, he's the guy who basically came up with the Cthulhu mythology with Nodin, Cthulhu, Nyarlathotep, and Azathoth. Sorry if I butchered any of those names, I'm just going off of how they pronounce it from a certain anime. So, with that being said, this deck, it's very fun. It can do Synchro, it can do Exceed, it kind of can do fusion. I mean, if you count instant fusion as being a one card polymerization and stuff. But basically, this deck, its whole goal is to summon out this thing, using this thing, override them into this thing, and then override that into this thing. So that's basically what you want to do, because this guy, whenever he has a fusion synchro and an exceed monster attached to him as an exceed material, he can detach an exceed material and blow up your opponent's side of the field. Now, that may sound hard to do, but it is actually very easy to do with this deck. And hopefully after I go through the deck profile and explain some combos and stuff, you'll see why. First, I play 3 Photon Thrasher and 3 Star Drawing. These guys are more for the generic rank 4 exceeds. You don't ever want to go into Nyarlathotep with this, just simply because, as I said, you want to try and go into Nyarla with Nodin and Cthulhu. That's about all. Okay, so honestly, these guys are optional in the deck, but however, I do personally like them just for that generic rank 4 access. And also, Digesto Emerald is pretty nice because late game you can run out of stuff in your deck very fast. 3 Junk Synchron and 3 Junk Forward. These guys are your 2 main ways of going into level 4 synchros. Not obviously not with each other, but with other cards. Mostly with Tuningware for Jet Synchron, for Junk Synchron, and the tokens off of Dandy. And with Junk Forward, it'd be any of the level 1 tuners. So that's your main way of summoning Cthulhu or Armory Arm or something like that. Lone Fire Blossom to obviously summon out any of the plants. We got so many plants in this deck. Okay, honestly, there's not that many, but one could compare this deck to something along the lines of Plant Synchro, something along those lines. It's really not, but it kind of is. 1 Dandelion, 2 Jet Synchron. I mainly use this guy to search out Junk Synchron and Junk Forward, but however, he's also just a really good level 1 tuner. You can summon him from your graveyard with very ease, just by discarding something. And the sheer fact that he just gets to grab any junk card at whenever he's sent from the graveyard, whenever he's used for a synchro material, is just awesome. 1 Spore, 2 Tuning Wired, partly to draw, partly to obviously use for Junk Synchron fodder. 1 Blow Up Bulb for obvious good level 1 tuning. Instant Fusion to go into Nodin. 1-for-1 Regeki, the Unspeakable Trapezoidron. I have no idea if I pronounced that right. Basically what this thing does is if you have 2 cards of different color, like over here in the extra deck, you can summon out the other one. So if you have a Fusion and a Synchro out, you can summon out an Exceed and then attach it to it as an Exceed material. If you have an Exceed and a Synchro out, you can summon out a Fusion. If you have a Fusion and Exceed, you can summon out a Synchro. It's just, is that really good? And it's another way to summon out Nodin for free, basically. So just saying, Foolish Burial to obviously get stuff engraved that you need. 2 MST, 2 Shard Greed. You can honestly replace this with Upstart Goblin. Personally, me, I prefer Shard Greed, just simply because, sure, you have to kind of wait 2 turns, but getting those 2 draws can really help dig through your deck. 1 Snatch Steal, so that we can steal our opponent's cards and use them for either Synchro or Exceeding material. 2 Refusion. Basically, this is Premature Burial. I think that's the right card for fusions. You pay 800 life points, select any fusion monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and equip it with this card. When this card is destroyed, remove the equipped monster from play. So basically, after you get Nodin engraved somehow, you use this, summon Nodin, and then get its effect off once again. Nodin is busted, by the way. 2 Deep Prison and 3 Call to Haunted, again for more Synchro and Exceed plays. Now then, for the extra deck. Just putting all these guys back. 2 Nyarlathotep. Outer God Nyarla, because obviously they can't fit the whole name. Basically, when this thing is Exceed Summon, you can discard any number of cards, increase this card's rank by 1 for each card discarded. You never use that. The other effect is once per turn you can target one monster in your graveyard, detach all Exceed materials from this card, and attach that target to this card as an Exceed material. If you do, this card's type and attribute become that Exceed material's original type and attribute. Honestly, don't ever use either of these two effects because really, if you go into this thing, you're going straight into Azathoth. Next, I play one Digesto Emerald to just simply, general recycling. 1/101, 1/103. Outer God Azathoth. Basically what this thing does, and this is your main go-to card. When it's, it needs 3 level 5s, 2400 attack, 0 defense. You can also exceed summon this card by using an Outer God Exceed material control, blah blah blah, Exceed material attached to become Exceed materials attached to this. Cannot be used as an Exceed material. After this card was XYZ summoned, your opponent cannot activate monster effects for the rest of this turn. That is actually very, very good. If this card has a Fusion Synchro and an Exceed monster as Exceed materials, you can detach one Exceed material from this card, destroy all cards your opponent controls. This card is really good, yet also really balanced. Because, first of all, your opponent just can't activate any monster effects for the remainder of that turn. And secondly, you just activate that effect, nuke your opponent's board, and attack them directly for 2400, or however much monsters that you have on field. If you're lucky, maybe you have called a Haunted set, so you can flip up that. If you detach to Nodin, you can summon Nodin back and then go into more rank 4s. This card is just really, really good. It's basically a one-sided Black Rose, and you can just attack. There's no downsides to doing that either, other than you only get that effect off once, and you got to make it count. Next, I play 2 Formula Synchrons because, well, we have so many level 1s and so many level 1 tuners and non-tuners, so it's pretty good. Also, more deck draw, more deck thinning, getting just draw free cards. 1 Armory Arm because, honestly, sometimes you need to go into him instead of Cthulhu, or maybe you don't want to go into a second Cthulhu and you want to go into an Armory Arm so you can attach it to a Cthulhu and attack over stuff. Next, speaking of Cthulhu, I play 2 of them. Cthulhu is basically this. He's the level 4 synchro with 2200 attack, 200 defense. So it's just occurred to me he's a freaking rekindling target. I never noticed that because it's a fire pyro with 200 defense. Oh my god. Basically, he needs any tuner and any non-tuner. Basically, if he is synchro summoned, you can return all rank 4 Exceed monsters on the field to the extra deck. This is actually really, really good. I've done this against Teller Knights and they hate it. And if he is used for a Fusion material for a Fusion summon, you can draw 1 card. And if he's used for an Exceed summon, it's the same thing. You get to draw 1 card. Really, really nice. Allied just as Catastor because, well, we have some level 4s and tuners. So, yeah, just in case. Feel free to replace it with Armades or whatever you feel like playing over Catastor. Then I played 2 Elder God Nodin, possibly the most broken Fusion monster ever created. Basically, what this thing does is, if it is summoned in any way, you can target 1 level 4 lower monster in your graveyard, special summon it, its effects are negated. Also, banish it when this card leaves the field. Basically, what you want to try and do is you want to try and make Cthulhu. Okay? That's very, very easy to do. Then, you're either going to wait for Cthulhu to die, or get in the grave somehow, or you're not even going to bother doing that, but you're going to summon Elder God Nodin. Now, if Cthulhu is in grave, you're going to summon it with Nodin. Then, you're going to override these 2, and go into Nyarla. You're going to get to draw off a Cthulhu, which is nice. Then you're going to override Nyarla into Azathoth, and you're going to detach Nodin, or Cthulhu, whichever one you prefer. And then you're going to nuke your opponent's board, and then you're going to, I don't know, activate Call to Haunted, or read Fusion or something, bring back Nodin, use his effect, bring back your other Cthulhu, because most likely you'll have another one in grave. Override those 2 into another Nyarla, draw 1 more card, override those 2, and do another Azathoth. I'm not even joking, I have done this. This deck is really, really good, and it can do that very, very easily. Now, here's the problem. It can be a bit inconsistent. That's why I have so many draw cards in this deck, so that you can try and get to your key combo things faster. You also want to deck thin through this deck very, very fast, because you need to get your stuff in the grave or on the field as soon as you can. Now, with that being said, though, this deck can be very, very consistent. I say can be because I've playtested this about 10 or so duels, and 9 out of those 10 duels is consistency. Maybe not this consistent where I get to do it twice, but I get to do that at least once. And then Usually by then my opponent quits. With that being said, though, this deck does have the occasional consistency issues. Not very often, but however, it's still very, very potent. But that's, I guess, the only word I can think of. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any suggestions to make this deck even better, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm always open to suggestions to improve my deck, or to improve any deck, really. So, with that being said, rate, comment, subscribe. Have a great day, everybody. I'm hoping to bring some more deck profiles later on, either today or tomorrow. See you guys later. Peace.